If you follow the channel, you probably know that I sold my Denon AVRX4400 to get the Marantz AV7706. And let me tell you, this Marantz is packed full of goodies. In today's video, we're going to unbox and give an overview of the Marantz AV7706. I'm Barrett and this is Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. So after about a month of having no AVR, the Marantz AV7706 is in, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and hook it up. So today we're going to unbox this beauty, and then we're going to talk about the physical attributes as well as some of the features. Alright, so let's get into this box. I've been patient enough. I've already waited a month, so let's open this thing up. Okay, it actually comes with a pretty nice remote. Definitely looks nicer than the Denon I had. Looks like it's got some aluminum trim at least. And then you have your paperwork, of course. Your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi antenna, as well as an AM and FM antenna. Just put this all off to the side here. And then you have your little rocket ship, which you can use to use the Odyssey microphone to calibrate your room. I have a tripod for that, so that makes it a little easier. And then, of course, your power cable and your Odyssey mic in the box here. And batteries for your remote. Alright, and here we have the unit. Nice to see they got a lot of little things to help protect it, like the box had double layers, and you have these little sheets over top, I guess probably to protect it from scratches. So at least they take a little bit of care in packaging their materials or their products. And yeah, other than that, it's just some stickers. It's nice and light compared to my Denon AVR. I like that. It's not so heavy, but that's obviously because it has no amplification inside. It's just a processor. So anyway, there you have it, guys. I'm gonna grab my camera and we'll get some close-up shots and then we'll talk about it. Alright guys, there you have it, the Marantz AV7706, and although Marantz has not changed the look of these units in quite some time, I still feel like this unit does look quite nice, even in today's modern day. And yes, I did get this thing hooked up eventually. I couldn't wait, so I will be giving you guys my initial thoughts on how this unit sounded later on in this video. Before we get into the specs and features, if you guys are into audio and home theater, that is what I'm all about. It's what I'm passionate about, so please consider subscribing, and if you do, you might as well tick the bell icon so you can be notified about my future videos, and if you could just take 1 second out of your time to tick that like button down below, it would be greatly appreciated. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some of the specs and features of the Marantz AV7706. The current pricing for this unit is $2,499 US at the time of this review, but I have dropped links down below if you are watching this review somewhere down the road to see what the current pricing is. The dimensions of the 7706 are 17.4 inches wide, 7.4 inches high, and 16.2 inches deep. That is with the antennas attached, but having them horizontal. If you move the antennas vertical, then the unit will be 9.7 inches high, and then it weighs in at 22.9 pounds. With the front flap closed, it is a very minimalistic design, with only the trademark Marantz porthole display, input selector, and volume knobs visible. If you press the bottom of the front flap, it drops down smoothly to expose a wide variety of buttons and a larger, more informative display. I know the porthole display is somewhat of a polarizing feature. Some people love it, some people hate it, and I'm somewhere in between. I do like the look of it with the flap closed. It's very minimalistic, very simple. I do like that look. At the same time, I do wish that the porthole display would give you more information. Right now, it only gives you what sound mode you are in and the volume. But luckily, there is a button on the remote labeled Info. If you press that button, you are going to get a lot more information about what the input signal is and what the output signal is, etc. The top, bottom, and sides really don't have anything going on other than some ventilation holes and the circular disc-shaped feet at the bottom of the unit. Moving around to the back, you are greeted with all the important business and a plethora of connections. But you will also notice that something is missing. For those of you that don't know, this is a processor, or some call it a pre-pro, so it does not have amplification built in. amplification needs to be handled by external amplifiers, resulting in the 7706 having no speaker terminals. But it does make up for it by having balanced XLR connections, and for those who want to get technical, know the Marantz is not what you call a true balanced design. One of the main benefits of going with a processor like this is because XLR connections are balanced, meaning they can be used over longer runs and have a cleaner signal transfer and also provide a higher input voltage to the amplifier. But you don't have to use the XLR connections. There is an unbalanced RCA pre-out section here as well. The Marantz AV7706 also does have a wide variety of audio connections like digital coaxial, optical, and mini RCA audio inputs. For video connections, you do have some legacy component inputs, as well as some RCA video inputs, and above that you have all your HDMI inputs. There are 6 4K and 1 8K HDMI input and 3 outputs, one of which is ARC and ER capable. For those unaware, that stands for Audio Return Channel and Enhanced Audio Return Channel. The inclusion of 8K and 4K 120Hz is one of the bigger changes for the 7706 over the 7705 that it replaced. At the time of this review, there are some issues with the 4K 120Hz working with certain devices. It is currently working with the PS5 and Nvidia GTX 30 cards, but it still has issues with the 2020 Xbox Series S and Series X models. It does seem that Marantz is diligently working to remedy this problem, so I hope that there is a fix in the very near future. Besides what we have already covered for connections, you have a couple of 12-volt triggers, an IR input, and of course a couple of antennas for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and to assist with its wireless features. And when it comes to features, Marantz managed to pack in quite a bit here, but before we get to that, I just want to say I'm very happy that Marantz decided to include a backlit remote. I don't know why home theater companies and audio companies have such an issue including a backlit remote. It should be a standard feature by now, especially for some of the prices you're paying for AVRs and processors, but in this case it does have a backlit remote, so I wanted to point that out. And just a personal thank you to Marantz, and please include that with all of your units, and Denon, if you're listening, the same thing goes for you. Okay, enough fanboying over the backlit remote. Let's talk about the feature set of the 7706. The Marantz processes 11.2 channels, so of course it will cover all the major sound formats like DTS-X, DTS Virtual X, Dolby Atmos, Auro 3D, and IMAX Enhanced, which is a sound and video format. It does, of course, support high-res audio at 24 bits and 192 kilohertz. And to keep everything sounding great in your room, it uses Odyssey XT32 for its room calibration software. The 7706 is compatible with Google Home, Apple AirPlay, Siri voice control, and Alexa voice control. I currently do have mine connected to my Amazon Echo device, and it is really handy to be able to tell my cinema to turn on and turn off as I'm coming in or leaving the room. For those of you that like to control things from your smartphone, there is of course an app for that. The Marantz AVR remote app gives you a lot of control directly from your iOS or Android device. Like many of the Marantz and Denon units before it, the 7706 does have HEOS built in, and it is also Roon certified. And with Bluetooth connectivity built in, it is super simple for you to stream music directly from your smartphone from any one of your favorite streaming services. So as you can see guys, this unit does have a lot of bells and whistles, but that doesn't mean anything unless the unit sounds good. Earlier on in the video, I did promise that I was going to give you guys my initial impressions of the sound, and I will do that. But before I do, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm bringing back something that I had tried in the past, and that is Movie of the Week. So any one of my videos that is home theater related, I'm going to drop a movie down below that is a 4K title that is $20 or less that I feel is worth the watch. So in the description down below, you will see Movie of the Week. Just click that link if you are interested in what movie I have chosen this week. Alright, so moving on to my first impressions of the sound for the 7706. Of course, I'm going to reserve my detailed explanation and detailed description for the full review, but in today's video, I will give you my first impressions after I first hooked it up and ran Odyssey.
Welcome to the bottom of hell. They say pain is a prison. Let me out of my cell. You say you proud of me, but you don't know me that well. Sit in my room, tears running down my face.
The first thing I noticed when I turned on the Marantz 7706 is that the channel separation did seem to be much better than the Denon that it replaced. When listening to demo material, you just hear each channel providing a much clearer experience, not in a bad way to where it's extremely localized, but at the same time, each channel is providing you a much better experience than what I thought I had with the Denon. The second thing that I noticed is that the clarity of this unit seems to be quite a bit better than the Denon as well. So when listening to demo material, and there was a lot going on, there just seemed to be a lot more defined sounds within that jumble of sound than when I was listening on the Denon. The Denon did do a good job, but I feel like it might have been a little bit more muddy or a little bit more muffled than when listening to demos on the Marantz. So for instance, you know in the Divergent series where the main character jumps through the glass window to tackle the main antagonist, and you're hearing all that tinkling of broken glass. Of course, the Denon did do a good job here, but I do feel that the Marantz kind of takes it a step up. You can just hear a lot more of that tinkling glass around you. It just did a much better job, and I found it to be much more clear. Another demo scene that I do like to do, and is pretty popular amongst other home theater enthusiasts, and that is the race scene in Ready Player One. And again, I just felt like the Marantz did a much better job here of telling me where these noises were coming from with their clarity and the channel separation that I feel the Marantz seems to shine in. So needless to say, guys, so far I am impressed with the initial sound quality of the 7706, but if you want to know more, you're going to have to wait for the review when I've had more time to use this unit and see what its strengths and possibly what its weaknesses are. So if you do want to know when I release the review, please consider subscribing, and then you might as well tick the bell icon so you can be notified when I release that review. And please do me a favor, it's only going to take you 1 second. See that like button down there? If you could just click that for me, it takes no time at all, and it really does help out the channel. If you guys are into audio, please consider joining my Facebook groups and following me on Instagram. I'll drop links down in the description. And remember guys, enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.